What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. Welcome back to the TS Steelworks channel. Today we are going to work on making another batch of my Ramrod scrapers for flintlock muzzleloaders. So in the process of building a muzzleloader or putting a kit together, a lot of times you have to adjust the ramrod size. And a great way to do that is putting one of these in the vise and then drawing your ramrod through it. You can also create a tapered ramrod with this tool. And a gentleman by the name of Tom Curran used to make these. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. But I was given the opportunity to pick up and start making these in my shop. So I put a little in memory of Tom Curran on there, show my appreciation for him. He was a super great guy, and I am proud to have met him and spent some time with him. We're going to start over here at the jet bandsaw, which is where I start a lot of my projects, processing stock and getting them ready for the milling machine. So let's get set up and get some material cut and ready to go in the Haas VF3. All right, we are all set up at the drop bandsaw, and we're going to cut 2 1/16 long pieces of 1095 high carbon steel. We're cutting 2 bars at a time, and then they will get trimmed down to 1.5 inches. And then I'll put them in the fixture, and they will get all the features cut into it, get the engraving done, and also get cut to 2 inches exactly length. So let's get cutting. They're all cut up. It looks like we got 42 I cut on the bandsaw here, and then this is what's left. I can get another 2 out of here. It's getting to where it's just a little hairy on the drop bandsaw to end up with a crooked cut or something like that. So what I do is just lay this out and then take it over to the little portaband that's on a stand and cut it out on there. So we'll head over there, check that out. We're out here in the blacksmith shop at the portaband. Got our material marked out. Get some ears on and do some cutting. All right, made quick work of that. So we'll head over to the 2x72 and just knock the edges off and get them ready for the milling machine. Made it over to the 2x72 belt grinder. I'll turn you around here. This is actually a machine that I built. I've built several of them. I love it. It's a great grinder. It does all the things I want it to do, and I'm very proud of this. So you see there, we're in the main machine shop. I don't do a lot of grinding out here, just a little bit here and there. I do have a grinding room that I try and do all my heavy grinding in, and it has air system and things in there, just an exhaust fan more or less. So I'll usually mask up and go in there and do all my heavy grinding. But just for knocking little burrs off and things like that, I keep a belt grinder out here in the machine shop. And so let's get these burrs knocked off and get them ready for the milling machine. Okay, all deburred. I don't know if we caught that little juke that I did there. I don't know if you've ever had a 2x72 belt come off the grinder before or break, but it doesn't feel great. So I thought one was coming free, and I got out of the way, but it didn't. We survived. Let's head over to the milling machine, get set up there, and we'll go from there. We're over here at the Haas VF3, and before I power up the machine, I'm just going to switch jaws. This vise is already set up. These are the jaws I need, so instead of taking this vise off, I'm just going to take these jaws off here, put them on this vise here. They're the same vices, same sizes and heights and all that stuff like that. So let's get these jaws switched over and get to running. Make sure everything's clean. Make sure there's no chips in there. So because I need these two jaws to line up, I leave those bolts loose Bring this up close. Just a little bit off. Take something with a straight edge. Make sure they're good. Bring this back. Hope nothing moves. Take it back up there, double check. Good. Okay, now our jaws are on and we'll get the machine powered up. Get a program loaded, get some parts loaded, get some tools loaded, and start making parts. The phase converter is fired up. I switched phase converters. I'm still haven't investigated the one I usually use. So I have one that's arguably better anyway. It's a newer unit. I just keep it on my lathe. I have anyway, and so whatever. We'll make do. We got to make parts, so we'll jump phase converters around. At some point, I would love to get set up and have a large unit that runs to a fuse box that is 3-phase, and it just runs the whole shop. But I don't have that right now, so we're making do with what we got. Get this VF3 fired up, get everything homed out, and we'll do all the things that are required to make parts. First, we'll go turn the air compressor on because it tells you that you're an idiot. Air compressor is turned on. So we'll do our little power up restart. Get our machine homed out. Put some glasses on. Okay, first off, we're going to find the program we need. We're going to run the program in graphics and just verify. I have a few different programs for these. I make these scrapers for not only myself, but I also make them for another vendor, and I put their logo on them for them. It works out pretty good. We've got the program that we like, and I got my blanks here. So let's get them in the vise, and then it looks like I actually wrote some notes in the program. Did myself a favor, so I know how to set it up. We got our jaws installed, and now we're going to do what's called gang milling. So I'm going to take eight pieces, we'll put them in the vise, and I'm going to mill one side, and then we'll flip them 180 degrees and mill them to 1.5 inches in this dimension. Then we can put them in the jaws that we installed that are designed for making these scrapers, and load our program and go from there. So let's get to milling these down to 1.5 inches. There's not much on there. They're about 1.530. So 1 in 1730 seconds. Sure, we got some stock left here. Appears we do. We'll grab 8 more and do all of them like this on this side. Alright, so now there's a little burr on here that's in my way. So we will quickly knock this burr off and flip them over 180 degrees and mill them to 1.5 inches. So let me get these burrs knocked off and we'll get you set back up again. We got our burrs knocked off and the parts are flipped 180 degrees, so we'll take a skim cut, pull it out, measure it, make an adjustment, and then take our final cut. Zero, 1.515, 14.5, 515, 515. So we're going to lower our Z 15 thousandths, take our final cut. Do a final check here. Looks like we're pretty good. The 1.5 is not overly critical by any means. What is critical more is that they're all the same size. And that's because I'm putting 2 pieces in the vise, so that vise needs to clamp evenly on both pieces. If you have a difference in the width, you can run into the chance of ripping one out because the vise is gripping lighter on one than the other because the other one's thicker. So I imagine you have a couple thousandths variance, but they need to be really close. So I'm not going to change my Z, and I'll finish running the rest. Okay, they're all milled down to 1.5, roughly. So now we'll put some nice chamfers on this, just by hand, on the belt grinder. And then we'll put them in our fixture or our step jaws, soft jaws, set our X, Y, and Z, and then start running some program. Back over here at the 2x72 belt grinder, we're going to change to the flat platen. Still need to make a better rack for holding the accessory arms, but this works for now. All powered up. Okay, we got our stock cut. Once again, 1.5 dimensions done. Deburring on those sides are done. Now we'll load them into our fixture and set our offsets and get running. Okay, found our X, Y, Z, X and Y rather. Now we're going to set our offsets, which we're using, I think, 124 and 125 offsets. So we're going to set both of them in the same place, and then in our program we're saying X is 1 3/4 each way, so offsets minus 1.75, 1.75. Now our X and Y are set, and let's set our Z0. Okay, Z is set. Now we just need to check our program, make sure what tools we need, and possibly load up a couple tools. So let's do that. Tool 10 is a 1/4 inch end mill. So looks like we need to load that one. Tool 10, 1/4 inch end mill. Still looks to be in good shape. Tool 14 is our tapered end mill. It looks to be loaded. Tool 19 is loaded. What else do we need? Tool 10, tool 14. Which we determined is loaded. Tool 19, and that's it. Looks like just tool 10 needs loaded. Put our information in the computer slot. Can't see that. Here's our, I may have mentioned it in some other videos, but these tags I 3D printed. They go around the tool holder. So if I've taken a tool out and I know the length is still good, I can record the length offset on this tag. Next time I need it, it's just super quick and simple. Put it in the machine, switch out the information, and you're good to run. Love that system. everything looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty good on there. I'm happy with that. So now it's time to wash, rinse, and repeat a bunch of times. Stay tuned. I'll show you the pile at the end. So while those are running, we're over here at the 2x72 belt grinder again, and we're going to deburr our work that I can't deburr in the machine and get them ready for heat treating. One down, lots to go. With all of the machining and deburring done to this point, we're going to head out into the other shop and do some heat treating. So let's head out there.